makes total sense. Like, so when you hear new car manufacturers telling people, to get their oil changed every 10,000 miles, I mean, do you recommend that they just do it, the in-between at a service shop like yours to keep the vehicle maintained the way that it should be? I mean, are you able to explain this to people that buy a new car and are told to?
It's pretty easy to explain it. It's just, when you buy a new car, whose interest does the car companies have when they're making these recommendations? That car company wants you to come back and buy another car, and they want you to come back and buy another car in 3 or 4 or 5 years. They don't want you to drive your car for 10 years because there's nothing in it for them. They want to be able to sell you another car and push that maintenance expense off as long as possible. And then if you do buy another car, then you're able to push that maintenance expense to the second owner. And that's why it's kind of so important that you have service records on a car when you buy a used car to make sure that you're not buying somebody else's problem, or you're not buying a car that has 60,000 miles on it and had 2 oil changes, which is something that we do see. I mean, I've seen, I can tell you from personal experience of seeing cars in the shop that domestic products, GMs, Fords, and Chryslers, will only go about 15,000 miles. Some of them I've seen as high as 20,000 on their original oil, and then as a brand new car. And there's been several cars that we've put new engines in. The cars don't even have 25,000 miles on it because somebody forgot to change their oil. So it's the manufacturers are really looking out for their best interests and not the customers. The best thing that you can do for a car, and this is a general rule for almost any car, is to service your car. And by service we mean oil change, brake inspection, tire rotation, lubrication, and an overall vehicle inspection. And you should do that every 5,000 miles, especially with the road conditions that we have in Western Washington. It's something that, you hit a pothole, you've got road debris, you've got a lot of steep hills, your car is working really hard, you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic, driving up and down 405. Sometimes it'll take you an hour and a half to go 20 miles. Well, you're accelerating and you're stopping on the car, and you're doing that over and over and over again. That's hard on a car. And by servicing it every 5,000 miles, you really will lower your overall operating costs of the vehicle. Because once we've serviced it, we're gonna look at it, and we're gonna check the brakes, and we're gonna check the tires and the suspension, and we're gonna be able to kind of paint a picture for that car for the next 2 or 3 years. So we'll be able to tell you that at your oil change that you've probably going to need your brakes replaced in the next 90 days or the next 6 months. So you'll be able to plan for it. You'll be able to come in and have a basic brake service. If you go and have your vehicle serviced at a quick lube, they don't inspect those things. They don't look at your brakes. They don't rotate your tires. And so you'll be going in and getting your oil change done, and then and you'll do that a couple times, and then all of a sudden you're driving down the road and you put your foot on the brake pedal, and then you hear this loud grinding sound. Well, now you've taken, because your car needs brakes, and now you've taken what would have been a basic brake service, and on most cars is somewhere between $300 to $400, and you've turned that into a $600 or $700 repair because you've done damage to the brake rotors and possibly even the brake calipers, because the brakes weren't changed as a maintenance item. They're changed as a my brakes don't work item now. And so it's always better to perform regular inspections and regular services on the vehicle, and it's much cheaper in the long run to do a preventative repair as opposed to a breakdown repair.